the travel and tours industry as we talk about the impact of the coronavirus crisis. Now, as the coronavirus pandemic continues to disrupt business activity, especially the aviation business, the International Air Transport Association has estimated over $200 billion revenue loss for the aviation industry. Here's a quick video by the International Air Transport Association giving us some insight into the impact. Now, with the airlines grounded, the World Travel and Tourism Council has warned that COVID-19 pandemic could cut 50 million jobs worldwide in the travel and tourism industry, with travel likely to slump by a quarter this year. The global revenue for travel and tourism industry will be estimated an estimated $568.6 billion in 2020, a decrease of around 17% from the previous year. Joining me in the studio to look at the impact on domestic travel and tour business is CEO of Moontouch Travel, Radia Adamasani. I don't know where to begin from because obviously what we are seeing there or what I just talked about doesn't look very good. And so I've spoken to various businesses who are taking a hit. How are you guys handling this crisis?
It's so obvious. It's a very difficult period for us. And then last year we worked very hard and we had a very successful year of return.
Which was so much money.
We had so much hope for 2020. We had so much plans in place for 2020 with lots of activities and organized trips, both in inbound and outbound trips. And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 is up there in the air, throwing everything up there in the air. And we are also disorganized at the moment. Over the last few weeks, we got to cancel lots of trips for people. And then
these are mostly domestic?
Yeah, no, international.
Okay.
So the domestic is not yet affected. Probably when there's a lockdown, we could talk more about the domestic aspects, but for now, just the international. And the difficulty is that we are in between the airlines and the clients, the passengers. And so we've got to play double role in this difficult period. Here's a situation where airlines are not in a position to actually refund people's tickets for them in terms of cash, because obviously thousands of trips have been cancelled.
So how are you handling clients then if the airlines are not refunding, people have made payments to you? Yeah. How do you handle that situation?
That's where the difficulty comes. In one perspective, we understand the airlines because they can't actually get cash to pay over millions of people at the moment. So what they're actually doing is they are giving the refund in form of voucher, which actually is open for 1 year. It lasts for 1 year. And so the clients would use that when the whole situation normalizes to rebook the tickets for a later date for travel. But there are some passengers they simply do not understand. They feel they have paid cash to you and they are unable to travel now, and so you must give them the cash. And the cash is not with us, the agencies. The cash are with the airlines, and it goes through a long procedure to add, even just on normal days. It takes a very long, it can take up to 2 weeks to a month to actually get a refund from an airline, because it comes all the way from their head office, from whichever country it has to come from. And here's a situation where right now, Emirates or other airlines, they are just not in a position to refund people in cash at the moment. So people just have to comply with their voucher refund for now. And
that's terrible. Like, we are talking about international trips. So domestically, are you seeing that people are afraid they're going to catch the virus, so they don't want to travel to maybe another region for tourism purposes?
Yeah, it's not really about catching the virus, but you see when President announced about the ban on so many social activities and all that, obviously people travel because of events, because of programs and all that. And so with the new thing we have to deal with now, it has actually naturally reduced the level of travel. Right now, if anyone has to board a flight, it's actually for a very, very important reason. So that's the reason why the domestic aspect has actually reduced, because people used to travel for weddings, for funerals and all that across regions. But right now, there's nothing like that. And so the level of travel for the domestic, it has indirectly had a negative impact on that, even though there's no ban on that.
And now we have to deal with possibilities of a lockdown, which would be very terrible, I can imagine. So what would that mean if there's a lockdown? And for you, what do you need to survive at this moment?
to be very honest, at the moment, it is actually zero earnings for us. And we are just, most of us are actually locked up. Locked our offices. Even some airlines have done so, not just because we are not in a position to earn now, but at least for the safety for our own selves and our staff as well.
Yeah.
Because we still need the same staff when this whole thing is over. We still need the same people to work with. And so there's no need keeping them at a risk of coming to work every day when there's basically nothing to do. So we are trying our best to work from home. And that's where another difficulty comes, economic difficulty comes. Yeah, our work is such a way that it's not just about checking fares or doing bookings. You are still in touch with your clients. Those that want to rebook their flights to a later date, you are in touch with them. And then, so there's still a lot of work we are doing now. Unfortunately, there's no earnings, but there's lots of work we are still doing now.
And you have to pay staff, you have to pay for costs.
At the end of the month, whether you really earn or you don't earn, you still nothing or not. You have to pay your staff. You have to pay taxes and all that. So the biggest hit is actually on us. And we just hope that the government will actually have us in mind if there is any form of like a package for any lockdown for companies. The aviation industry and the travel and tour industry should be the #1 to be considered.
CEO of Moontouch Travel, Radia Damasani, I wish you all the best. I hope this vanishes quickly.